Okay, now I love to travel, but I think I like to do road trips, backpacking, and camping more than anything else. Having said that, my absolute favorite part of camping or backpacking is sitting down with a great view and just enjoying a cup of coffee. Having said that, there are a ton of methods that I've kind of gone through, and I've spent a lot of money on making coffee on the side of a mountain while I'm backpacking or just out there in the wild. So I'm going to share some stuff that I've done and what I've found to be the absolute best way to enjoy some coffee in the mountain with the least amount of trouble. All right, now let's go over some of the methods that I've used. So starting on my right here, you're going to see a press. So like a French press, Stanley French press is just the best. I've tried some of the other more expensive versions, didn't work as well. So this has never let me down. So we tried this, several different pour over methods. So this here, which is the ultralight Java drip, we'll go over that. I've actually done this, which is actually a thing you assemble, and you could do pour over drips. So we're going to go over that. We're also going to talk about maybe not having to spend money on that and just buying something out of the store, a little filter, and putting a filter on it. So we're going to go over each one and kind of talk about what's best, what I do, and what they work best for. Now, starting with the French press, we're going to make some coffee. So you're going to notice first, I actually bring the Stanley with me everywhere because this is how I make how I boil my water. This is my favorite thing. Now I have a ton of different camping stoves and stuff, but this is my favorite because it's wind resistant or great in wind. So that minus the plastic pieces is how I always, regardless of what I'm doing, where I'm at, boil my water. Unless I'm backpacking, then I use the titanium cup just because it's lighter, easier, and faster. So let's talk about the Stanley. Great, easy to do. I bring this with me, and my favorite is car camping. Whenever I actually have a space where I can actually wash this out after use, my favorite way of doing it, because I love just grinding some coffee, put it in here, and really pressing it down. And that's how you make coffee. So let's make some. Okay, so here's my Stanley. Now, I actually heated some water up to make this a little quicker and easier. So let's go through it. Simple French press. There's nothing in there. There's a little filter there. I pull up this cap here. I'm not going to make a lot of coffee, so I will take some coffee, put it in there. Pour my hot water. Got myself. Once you got the hot water, mix it around. I like to use a spoon sometimes. Kind of get it in there. Typically you want to wait a little bit, but we're not waiting today. This does get hot. Take your filter and just squeeze down. What you're doing essentially is taking all the coffee grounds, pushing them down to the bottom. So the idea is your oils are at the surface of the water. So when you pour your coffee, you get a actual real taste of real coffee with all the oils. That's why people love the French press. So if you do it right, you're going to have tons of cleaning. You're going to have dry coffee grounds in there. Right now, I actually have water, but typically it'll just be a bunch of coffee grounds, and cleaning that is a nightmare. Coffee, however, is great. You will have your oils on top. You will actually see them. So if you throw some sugar, cream in there, whatever you like, you're good to go. Easy, great coffee. However, cleanup just sucks. The downside to all this is cleanup. You get a great cup of coffee, and it's pretty light. Weight on this is 15 ounces or 15 1/4 ounce. If all you want is just the metal part, which is what I do for some trips, you're looking at 8 1/8 ounce. Now we're going to get into the drip methods. I bought this, and I would pull this out and show it to you, but it no longer exists in my house. I opened this up. It's made by GSI. It's basically a plastic arm that links up to the edges of their coffee mug, and you're supposed to be able to put your coffee grinds inside that, pour over, and it drips into your mug. What I found was those plastic arms don't hold up. They fall apart. Coffee spills everywhere. It is an absolute nightmare. You have to pour very slow. The netting doesn't work well. What I did is I actually used this to make it easier to clean. I put one of these inside it, a paper filter. Now, this makes it easier for cleaning, but it still doesn't hold weight very well. So you have to pour slowly. It has to go through 2 filters, and it's kind of a pain. So I really hated this. After like my 3rd use, I literally threw this in the garbage. This is typically the mug that I bring with me when I'm car camping. This is what I bring with me when I am backpacking. So this little filter that I use for an old coffee machine that I had, this actually works way better than that. So I will sometimes put that on there, put a filter, throw my coffee in there, and just pour over and lift off when I'm done, or getting to the top. When I'm done, throw it away. This is just, it's great. But I really wish somebody would make it so it has a hinge here and you could just kind of fold it so it's flat. This would be the perfect little travel coffee maker. So all I do is put it on top there. Put one of these here. Put my coffee in, depending on how strong you like it. I'm not going to make a super strong coffee because I'm not going to put a lot in there just because this is only just to see how it's made. But once you got your coffee beans in there or coffee grounds in there, just pour your hot water. Let it soak through. Just easy, light work. It's easy, simple. Once you're all done, let it drip off. That's all there is to throw away. Let this sit somewhere, let it drain out. Once it dries up, it's easy to carry out. Cleanup, very easy. You know, take this, dunk it in the water or something. Take a cloth or something, clean it out. Very, very simple. When I first tried this method, I actually did put the coffee grounds in here and did the pour over. However, that was a nightmare to clean. Once I started using the paper filters, this was just a genius thing. Somebody, please make it with a hinge. This would be my go-to. Easy, very, very simple, works great, and very, very cheap. The only downside is it takes up a lot of room. If somebody could make this and have it kind of fold, that would be a winner. I recently bought this. This is my latest piece. What this is a few aluminum pieces, and you assemble it. So I'll move the camera up close and I'll assemble it for you guys. But you assemble it, and once you have it all assembled, you use something like this. This is a number 2, I believe, coffee filter. Put this inside it, pour your grounds in there, and then once you got your grounds in there, pour your coffee over, and it works great. It really does. I really, really like this. Let's make some coffee with it. Okay, this is actually a really neat little product. I believe Snow Peak makes one very similar. As a matter of fact, it's so similar, I'll post them up here. Who's surprised, right? Snow Peak likes to make it very expensive. And when you actually look at it, the Snow Peak version versus this, it's very similar. So the way this works, they give you 4 pieces. Comes in this for travel. You assemble them. One piece at a time. The downside to this is it does take time. And the first few times you do it, it's a little frustrating. Here's where it gets a little frustrating. So the last piece, let me see if I can show that. So the last piece to kind of hook here, dang it, come on. Over here, camera. The last piece to hook doesn't bend that well, but once you get it in there, it takes a little practice. Once you get it, it's nice. You take this, and I usually will put a few of these filters. I think these are the number 2. These are the smaller versions. Take these filters, put it in here, fold over. The really nice thing is there are some versions of this that don't fit over the coffee cups well. What they do is they're too small for the wide mouth coffee cups. This seems to work really well. I actually use this on my titanium mug and it fits perfectly. I've actually put this on my Stanley. It's a lot wider and no problem. So this is great. Little pour over. Once you got your coffee grounds in there, take your hot water, pour right over. Simple. There's not much holding it on the bottom. There's no second filter, so it drips really fast. This thing is honestly just awesome. It just flows really smooth, no issues. And cleanup is a breeze. There is like nothing to it. Cleanup. Pull this off. You can actually set it somewhere. Let it completely drain and drip. Once it does, set this on the ground somewhere. And honestly, it just, find the next track. Once it dries up, it holds together really well. So it's easy to kind of throw in a bag or throw somewhere. This, rinse it off somewhere. Very easy. You honestly don't even need water. I will sometimes just take a paper towel or something, kind of clean this up. That's it. You got your coffee. The downside to this, the only downside to this is, now once it's together, it doesn't fall apart. I know you guys kind of see it wiggle. It really doesn't fall apart, which is awesome. But that also makes it a little more challenging to take apart. So to do it, just take one piece, take your right hand, lift up, take this side, push down, and with a little bit of force, it's really not that bad. It's really not that bad. The first time I did it, I absolutely hated this. It was kind of a mess, but honestly, these days, after using it a little bit, it's great. I love this thing. This is a little bit heavier because it does come in this pouch. Let's see what this weighs. Let me see if I can get this. This weighs 7 3/8 ounces. So it is one of the heavier coffee maker things. And just so you know, this is a 750 milliliter titanium mug. Just so you guys know, because I'm sure that you're curious about this. The weight on this, 3 3/4 ounces. So those are the methods. Like I mentioned, I always bring my Stanley with me because it's just a great way to heat up water. This titanium mug works, but I really love the Stanley. I could make coffee as well as make enough water for my breakfast, my dehydrated breakfast. My favorite method of making coffee, whether car camping or backpacking, it's going to be the same. So my favorite method is instant coffee. Easy, simple. I bring this with me if I'm backpacking and I pour this in. boil the water, pour this in, and I got my coffee. If I'm car camping, I'll bring this with me, heat up the water, then I'll pour it into my cup and use this. This Nescafe actually tastes very good, so give this a shot. Honestly, super easy, super light. This is all you need if you're backpacking, or you can bring this if you're car camping. So yes, I love these methods. I've used them for years. This was pretty clever. I actually still use this sometimes when I'm car camping, or honestly, even at home, I still use this. But honestly, it just doesn't beat it. This, if I'm driving somewhere on a road trip and I'm just getting sleepy or tired and I just want some coffee, I'll pull over somewhere, I'll heat up some water in this, pour this in it, and I'm good to go. It's simple, it's easy, it's light, and honestly, it tastes really good. So that's my coffee methods. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully this helps you save some money, because I have spent hundreds of dollars on things that make coffee. AeroPress is one that I didn't mention, but let's give it a mention. Not a fan unless you're actually using it for espresso. Making regular coffee in the AeroPress, I'm just not a fan. It's cumbersome, it's heavy. It takes time, cleaning's horrible. I'm not a fan, so I don't have that. But yeah, the winner, instant coffee. Nescafe instant coffee. Try it. I think you'll like it.